Live from the anti-ESG phone booth on the corner of 27th and Broadway. It's an all-new, terrific Tuesday edition of Business Pants, joined by Ari the Data Queen and analyst Matt Mascardi.
I was trying to do the same thing, Matt.
Yeah, it's a
trying
real,
to picture
is it a
27th
real
and
intersection?
Broadway.
Where is that?
I know Broadway is around the 40s. I don't know where the 20s are.
It keeps going down.
Broadway
Is that how numbers
goes
work?
all the way to the West Hartford office. And today's proxy-scented lead director, I forgot to change that joke from last time, called April 30th, 2024, The Good Game, and our all-new Top 5 List Throwdown Show, whatever, I don't know what I'm talking about.
Woohoo!
When you say forgot to change that joke,
Yeah.
that assumes it's a joke of some kind that somebody
And
finds
it's assumed
funny,
that someone
is it?
remembers.
Yeah, like
It
anybody
assumes it's a
listens
someone
and
other
or
than
knows.
us. Yeah. Our show today is being sponsored by FreeFlow Analytics, the only ESG data platform to measure real board influence and diversity power gaps, among a slew of other things it measures. But those are two of the highlights that I like.
Yeah, how come you don't say TSR?
Well, anyone can
Director
change that
TSR.
copy. Anyone in this office is free to change
He's
that
trying
copy.
to,
I'm just nudging. You're the head of creative. I'm nudging.
He doesn't like acronyms.
No, that's a sponsorship from our sponsor.
Oh, that's
FreeFlow
their
Analytics.
copy?
That's their
We
copy.
pay ourselves.
No,
that's
I don't
their
know what you're talking
copy.
about, Ari.
They.
Oh, sorry.
All right. Do
You
we
ready
have
for the
good
good
game
game?
music? Do we want
I'm
to do
excited
some
for the good
let's-
game.
Yeah.
This is where
Do
I
we
get
have good game
at
music?
least
What is our
two
good game
headlines
music?
for my Friday
It's
show.
this.
That's it. Really?
I don't know. Is that we've never had good game music?
It does
Now
get
I
me
think
ready.
of when I hear that music. Now I think of Caitlin Clark. Although I don't think that the women's tournament has that music. Actually, that's only the men's tournament music, right? Because the women's is on ESPN.
Even the music choices
Little by
are
little.
sexist.
Remember
Yeah.
last year they didn't have like the Final Four awarding or whatever? No, that's not right.
They didn't. The
March
Final
Madness
Five?
wording. They didn't have like specific wording to March Madness. It was just for the men.
Well, that might be
Man's
branded by.
madness.
That could be branded by. I don't know, CBS or Paramount. Paramount has their CEO just got fired, so maybe the new CEO will change that.
Nothing interesting is happening at Paramount.
All right, come on, let's
now.
go. Good game. I feel like I have 10 good headlines
We'll see.
for y'all. Lots to talk about today. Let's get going.
I'm deeply
start-
cynical.
Let's start right off with proxy advisors. ISS recommends shareholders vote against BlackRock CEO Larry Fink's pay.
Whoa.
Really?
Whoa. I'm
How
actually
about
shocked.
ISS coming out against Larry Fink? Although
Yeah,
the
wait,
reasoning
the
is a
group
little odd.
Yeah,
I mean,
The
the shocking
reasoning they
thing
say
is
is-
that they're recommending vote against anything.
that's
Right?
true. They are
That's the
voting
shocking
against
thing.
something.
I actually have more ISS later in the show, but one of the reasons in the article was that his $27 million pay package this year is higher than the industry's median pay for CEOs. That would make me think that ISS is always recommending, right, against like above median pay, which would be great by me. I would be down for that. Like, that's an
This
identifiable metric.
I'm sorry. This is all a anti ESG like hug. Like they launch ESG skeptic.
Oh,
as
you
a
think this
proxy
is against?
policy.
You actually think this is a pro
Yes.
anti ESG? Wow.
That's exactly what I think. You're making a stand that we're ISS. We're not like like the woke BlackRock thing. Like there is literally no 27 million. They voted 4 pay packages this year that were more than that. And well more than, if their thing is more than median, then they should vote against literally
whole lot of
half
things.
of the pay. Like every pay should be voted against. They don't do that. They're not voting against like
I
there's
don't feel
no
like Matt
rhyme
thinks
or
this is
reason.
good.
This is a big fat zero.
Oh.
That's what this is. A big
Ari.
fat zero. That's not good. That's a
What's your
laughable
score, Ari?
joke.
I think this is a vote against what they plural they made the face of ESG.
Really?
That's
and
correct.
Yet, I will take
Yeah.
this dog whistle. Sure. I
What-
give
what do you
this
give
a
it?
7.
A 7.
That's what I thought. I thought we'd at least be happy that anyone was voting against CEO.
Yeah.
Pay.
No,
Oh, let's move on.
get, like It needs to be
Yeah.
for a good reason. It can't be for some like made up.
Stupid me. I didn't even think of that angle, but you're probably right.
Wow.
It probably is some weird political fight. All right, next one. This one really is for Matt because I just wanted to hear Matt laugh at this one. Sustainability activists take aim at disposable hotel slippers.
Yes, finally. It's a long time.
Although,
coming.
who actually uses those? So does anyone actually throw those away? Because I've never used those.
I think they throw them away regardless of whether or
If
not
they're
they use them.
unpackaged
That's a
or not,
problem. But aren't they aren't they in a plastic bag usually?
they are. And I take great care when I go to hotels to not touch too many things so that they can reuse it. But I think they just grab everything and throw it out. And
I'm
change it
pretty
over.
sure that's correct. I think they just
Yeah,
grab it all and chuck it.
And I feel
Ari,
real
they
bad.
take your slimy ketchup packet and they throw it right in the trash.
No, you know how they have all these. I mean, they have a bunch of toiletries in the bathroom, but they also have like sewing kits and like
Yeah.
all this other
They
stuff.
reuse that. I think it
don't
depends.
know.
I think it depends on the level of hotel you're at. Like if you're at a no offense Holiday Inn, but if you're at a Holiday Inn, they're reusing that stuff. That's
Well,
all.
if you're at a Holiday Inn, you're not getting sewing kits.
That's true. There's no sewing kit available.
Come on, is this good? Is this good for the world? Come on,
no,
rate this headline.
This
Really?
is
No.
terrible. This is
Oh.
probably worse for. We're going to be worse off because this is conversation. I'm going to give this a 3.
Wow. I'm gonna give this. I like it. I like it because it's such a ridiculously small thing to take aim
That
at.
no one's ever talked about.
Like literally, there's no conversation about like the mounds of hotel slippers in junk piles anywhere. They're not washing up in like dolphins' blowholes. There's nothing.
Here's what
like
I'm
that.
hoping for. I'm hoping for the next Marriott proxy statement that there's a shareholder proposal against disposable slippers, and that Marriott spends
Sure.
3 pages like
Perfect.
Exxon going off about how the world is suddenly like anti-disposable slipper.
I'm all for this, mostly for the comedic niche value of it, but not for the
not
bigger
laughing.
picture.
Come on, give me a good number.
I'm giving this a 7.
All right, here we go.
Wow.
Here's the next one.
Shocked.
Now, the reason why I selected this headline is because honestly, I want you to rate the idea that this is actually now a headline now. Like I see these headlines like this all the time now.
So
and I
don't
almost-
rate the headline. We rate
Well, you
the
can,
concept of the headline.
But both, either one. But I'm just amazed that people are catching up to this concept. Here's the headline: Walmart CEO made 976 times the median employee's pay last year. This is,
Wow.
this is just like a nerdy, archaic CEO pay ratio
This is
that's deep in
a
the
10.
proxy statement.
Wow, a
Ours is
fast 10, right out
I
of
like
the-
it.
This is
Like
a 10. Concept or headline? 10.
This is why I'm here. I'm here for the
Wow.
10s. Matt?
I'm going to give this. I don't think this is as niche a headline. I think this headline comes out
Really?
a bunch, but maybe just in our world.
Recently,
like, I don't know.
I mean, recently.
I would say this
Yeah.
headline would be an 11 if they named the Walmart CEO.
That exact. Thank
Ooh,
you.
yes, 100%.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
in fact, having mentioned that, I'm docking it 1. I would have given it a 7. Now I'm giving it a 6.
What?
Oh,
Yeah.
Ari ruined it. Here we go. All right, let's get to it. Here's the next headline. Glass Lewis endorses 6 Ancora nominees in the proxy fight against Norfolk Southern. And just this morning, ISS also coming out.
Nuh-uh.
Okay, it's a little bit different what ISS is doing, but they're also supporting 6 anchor directors, not the same directors, except,
What?
like, for instance, John Kasich is on ISS's list, which is already making me think, like, you're kind of ruining the game, ISS. Like, you're going to, let's all focus on the same directors so we can get them elected. But the other thing is that Glass Lewis is actually recommending a vote against the CEO, Alan Shaw, at Norfolk Southern.
Yes.
But ISS is not doing that. They're like kind of hedging their bets and they're not sure what to do.
Oh,
But anyway, I
So
want
is
you to
this
rate.
unusual?
yeah.
Yeah, this is pretty unusual.
It is kind of unusual, yeah. I want you to rate
so
this whole
Glass Lewis
fight, though.
did a thing, and ISS is like,
Glass
we want to do a
Lewis did-
thing too.
Glass Lewis did more of a thing. They're a much more aggressive stance.
And ISS doesn't want to be left behind.
Both of them copied our thing because we came
absolutely.
out first on
Absolutely.
Proxy Countdown with a really detailed. In fact, they're going for more Ancora directors than we did. We only went for 3, but we picked 3 to vote against on the Norfolk Southern board, one of whom was Alan Shaw, the CEO and chair, or just
Amy
the CEO.
Miles, yeah.
But we wanted to vote against both CEO and chair and just said, get rid of the power structure. You don't need to flip the CEO. You can get rid of the power structure and let the board have some independence. They're going a bit farther, but we were better reasoned. How many times did ISS say that this would probably be good for the company? Maybe.
Probably like 13 times,
Yeah, that sounds right.
perhaps.
Okay, I'm gonna go.
Yeah, what do you
with
think
a-
about this? What do you rate this?
gonna go with a
Is this good? Do you
7.
like a nice
7.
proxy contest?
Yeah.
Glass Lewis, the ISS one, I'm gonna ignore because that was
That's
a
an
sub
afterthought.
headline.
That's an afterthought.
Yeah, the
I
Glass
actually-
Lewis
that-
endorsing
yeah.
6, and not in the headline, but knowing that they're withholding from Alan Shaw, I'm
Yeah.
giving it a 10. I think they're
Mimicking
doing
us.
something right for once.
Moving on, Portland State University pauses Boeing donations amid student protests. So Boeing,
Wait, I'm sorry.
guess
What? Boeing donates to
okay.
the university, and they're like, "No, thank you."
exactly. So Boeing
I'm
every year
outraged.
gives about $150,000, and Portland State University is like, no, we don't want your money, Boeing.
Wow.
This is dumb.
So
Take their money, make them triple it, quintuple it.
It is a strange one, isn't it?
Yeah, use us as your greenwashed, like charity do-gooder PR round.
Well,
Why not?
I will say this is not
Please.
really. This is not purely about all the headlines that we've been covering in the news about David Calhoun's failure and all the horrible stuff, but the students are actually upset with the ties to the fact that Boeing is a weapons manufacturer.
Yes.
Matt is already out on this one.
I don't understand.
Like so we haven't talked at all about the student protests that are happening in this country.
No,
These are the weird student protests that maybe we shouldn't be talking about.
Yeah, but this
The other one
well,
seem a little.
we're not like
Look.
a protest talking show. We're not like a politics show.
You're
no,
right,
it's not
you're
a
right.
politics show,
It's
right?
corporate
So like
money.
that's why we don't end up talking much about it. But this is where it kind of fuses. I think students are allowed to like have very loud, aggressive
Yeah.
ideas about a thing
Yeah.
and protest about it. I think that's all in the purview of students. I actually think the reaction to all these protests have been ridiculous.
Right.
Like they're overkill. We're having Senate hearings about where we're targeting female presidents of colleges and
Right.
yelling at them about anti-Semitism. All of it is an overreaction. It's political theater on the other side. The students are doing what students always
Right.
do. And whether or not they're right? It's not about their stance. That's what they kind of do. This one seems like one of those things where it's like, this is when, like Portland State, I think you're overreacting. Like you don't have to not take the money. Why don't you take the donation and then pay for a fund to, that doesn't and divest from weapons manufacturers, or use that money to pay for a scholarship for kids who are going to study weapons destruction. I don't know, make up a study, do something else with it. But this seems like slightly stupid. I'm going to give it the slightly stupid 5.
I find this one fascinating because it's like it is part of that same divestments conversation, but it's like from the opposite direction.
Yeah, it's weird. You're divesting from
I like it, though.
themselves. They're literally divesting from themselves. 'Cause
I like that Boeing can't win. Boeing can't win anywhere. Like even their money's no good
Their
anymore.
money's too dirty at this point.
And I don't know why if this is the reason why the Guardian picked up the story, because it's just they can't resist a good Boeing story, because I don't know
it's
why.
everywhere.
I don't know why it's in a major newspaper.
Something else
but-
happened with Boeing last week. I don't know if
Oh,
you saw
please.
a
Something
slide.
else. I mean, it's
The
constant.
emergency slide fell off.
Yeah,
the
that just
wing.
happened
Yeah.
actually yesterday. Actually, I
That
think.
just happened yesterday.
Wow. Last week.
Ari, you gave it a
I
5.
could have predicted it.
What'd you give it, Matt?
I give it a weak sauce 5.
I
And you
give it
too,
a 2.
Ari? Same, you?
Well,
5?
Ari's
Okay,
a
moving
2.
on. Oh, a 2. How dare you? Moving on. This is I'm hoping this is an easy 10 from Ari. UAW and
10.
Daimler Truck reached last-minute deal to hike pay by more than 25%, avoiding potential strike of over 7,000 workers, including what that is, for the first time ever, profit sharing. Hey-oh.
Wow, I like
Wow.
that. I like
UAW on a
profit
roll.
sharing.
So
Yeah, Sean Fain, is that UAW? Is this all Sean
Yes.
Fain? That's
On a roll.
like he's got a future doing something.
He's got a future.
negotiating.
What about his present, though?
It's really great.
Come on, Ari, give me the 10.
this
Come on.
is wonderful. Profit sharing. I would have given it a 10 without that, but now it's just beyond a
11.
10.
I wish I could give you more than 10. I wish I could do it.
I look. I will admit occasionally when I'm not wrong, but maybe like too early.
Yeah.
But clearly, the labor movement is continuing at a pace that I did not expect.
In the automotive
that's how I'll say it.
in the automotive sector, I don't know. Have we
Yeah, it's
seen?
pulled back everywhere else.
Yeah.
It's shit everywhere else.
This is good.
Starbucks is pulled back, and
This sounds
Whole
like a 10.
Foods,
Sounds like a
I
10
don't see.
from Matt.
I'm gonna give this a 9. I'll give it a 9.
Wow.
I don't give 10s. 10s
Okay.
on principle.
How about this one? And this next one, this one I'm calling is this Boeing's secret war against climate change? Okay, because listen to this headline. And I hadn't thought about this. Maybe Boeing is a genius, just kind of like COVID was. American Airlines will reduce service on these 12 routes from the U.S. to Europe in Boeing fallout. So because Boeing sucks, the planet might be saved, right?
This is deep. This is the deepest conspiracy
they're actually-
theory.
They're
I've
actually
ever heard.
cutting a considerable amount of service. I mean, really, it's pretty incredible. This is a different way of combating climate change. Even I hadn't thought of.
Yeah.
Well, climate change is going to call Boeing up and tell them to keep it. They don't want their donation. Of,
That's true. Yeah, keep the roots.
I mean, if Boeing's master plan was 2 decades of cronyism to build bad planes to save the environment, I would actually, that would be an 11 for me. That would be one of the best executed, most well thought out master plans I've ever heard of. In this case, I don't think that's it. But I'm gonna go with I'm gonna give this an 8. I like
Still
this.
kind of good though, Ari.
It's
What do
still
you
kind
think?
of just good.
It's as good as what the pandemic did to climate change.
Well, it did a good thing.
I know, but it just feels
Feels rotten.
off. I will give this a 7. What did
Well,
you
where
give
you're
it?
wrong,
gave it an
Ari,
8.
is that
Okay.
where the pandemic actually killed people, but by removing Boeings from the sky, by not letting people fly to Europe, you're saving people's lives and the environment at the same time,
Look at
right?
that. It's like
All right.
it's like a vaccine.
Let's stay
In
with
the sky.
airlines. We have a couple good headlines still from airlines.
I hate airlines. Airlines are the new cruises. I just
This is the-
it's like
This is the good game for April 30th, 2024. You're going to like this one, Matt. I don't know who wouldn't like this one. A 101-year-old woman keeps getting mistaken. I mean, first of all, why is this woman flying so much? I don't know. Where does she need to be? A 101-year-old woman keeps getting mistaken for a baby on flights and says it's because American Airlines booking system can't handle her age.
okay,
Come on,
Which
that's
is
a good
somehow
one.
Boeing's
Come on.
fault.
but
Come on,
the
this
key
is
word
good.
in this is keeps with the S.
Yeah, so she keeps. Yeah, I just want to know where
implying
she's
that
going.
it happens all the time. Like
Yeah.
every time I get on a flight. First of all, don't fly American Airlines anymore. That's one.
Well,
just fly.
maybe
a
it's
She's
her
got all
only
her
choice.
miles.
Maybe she
attached
doesn't.
to the
She's so
airline.
old she doesn't realize there's more than one airline. Who knows?
Second of all, you're at 101. Stop flying. Like it's not a good idea anymore. At some point, just stay home. Where do you have to go? And third of all, I love the idea that American Airlines basically is like people don't live to be over 99. That's all our system can do.
Right.
We did 2 digits.
It's like
I love that.
It's like a Y2K redux with an old lady.
Oh.
Yeah. Does anybody remember Y2K other than
I clearly do.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, you were like 4.
All right, Matt, give me a score on this one.
I love this. This is a 10 for me. This is great. Yeah, I
Ari?
only give 10s to 101-year-old women. That's my rule.
All right.
I'm going to give this an 8 just because
Right.
she's still going.
This next one is incredible, and I really think it's going to make Ari happy. Staying with airlines. Airlines are going to start giving out automatic refunds for delayed or canceled flights. And I got to tell you, I hadn't really heard a lot about this. I'm assuming this comes from Biden.
This is the Biden administration.
Yeah, but
Yep.
the list of things that their airlines are going to automatically have to refund for you for are incredible. It's an incredibly exhaustive
Yep.
list. This is like one of the bigger wins for consumers I've seen in a long time. And Ari, I know
I
you had.
agree.
Didn't you have?
I
didn't
saw
you have some
this.
problem with something?
I still
Tap
have an
Air.
ongoing problem. Yep.
Yeah.
Tap
so
Air
I did this headline
stole
for you,
money
Ari.
from me. Thank you. I saw it yesterday, and
Oh, well,
it was an
okay, sorry.
automatic shoe-in for Friday. So I'm gonna give this a 10.
All right.
Oof.
Mac, why don't you try to crap on this one? How do you find? How can you
It's
crap on this?
impossible to
can't.
crap on
You
this
can't.
one. They will give you money back if you sneeze. If like there were things that were like if your seat gets changed without you agreeing to it, they have to refund
Look.
you some
yeah.
portion of
Well,
your
yeah,
seat.
Now I'm
Why-
gonna show up to the gate and be like, I want something to go wrong.
I kind of agree. I mean, you're spending that much money. Like, give me what I'm paying for, right?
Yes,
I mean,
that's correct. This is a 10. This is actually
Wow.
a good thing.
and let's end on a downer, I guess, or maybe it's an upper. Last
It's a good game.
headline.
You're supposed to pick good headlines.
Well, I only picked this one because I just liked someone accusing someone of something. I like the. I like
Why
when
don't you
people.
read it?
I like when people I don't like get called idiots. And I like the fight, and I like the headline, the way it reads. Facebook co-founder accuses Tesla of being the next Enron.
Ooh.
Oh.
That's Duskin
Moskowitz?
Moskowitz. Yeah,
Yeah.
Moskowitz. And fittingly, Elon's response on Twitter was, he says, "What a retard."
Oh,
Wow.
I don't. Didn't
I knew,
we
I,
do
knew,
away?
I knew neither one of you would know how to like deal with this one. This is part of the reason
No.
why I put this one in here.
I actually, I have like a N-word sort of aversion to
Right. It's the R word.
the R
Well,
word.
look, I'm
Like, I don't
I'm
know
purely acting in journalistic fashion here because again, I'm looking right at you, Tesla shareholders. You are problematic. You're problem children that you keep reelecting these people on the Tesla board. There's something wrong with you. I mean, there's something crazy.
I don't care at all about this. This is just two tech moron billionaires.
What about the idea that you can now say Elon Enron? What about that rhyme? Do you like that rhyme?
Oh, purely
Still
for
don't care.
rhyming purposes. That might be a +1.
I knew this
So-
was a risk, including this
I'm
headline.
going to give this a 0.
Wow. I'm going to give it a don't care is a 5.
All right, fine.
But it gets +1 for the Enron Elon. That's +1.
I ruined.
So 6.
I really ruined the average.
You
there
really
at the end.
demolished
The
it.
vibes.
All right, so let's wrap up the good game for April 30th, 2024. The winner, the big winner this week by a lot. I don't know why Matt's in such a good mood. I don't. Maybe because did the
Started
orthodontist
us
give you
off
a
with
break?
0.
Did you
The
get a
orthodontist
discount
was
this
great.
morning?
Oh no, definitely never.
Matt, let's start with Ari, actually. Ari had 2 zeros, which is very unusual for her. She comes in at just under 6, and Matt,
pretty
with
low.
3 10s, comes in at a 8, just under 8. So Matt is in
Wow.
the
That
best
can't
mood
be
this week.
possible.
That is shockingly high
I know.
for you.
That is
Unbelievable.
really
Let's
high.
move on. Let's move on.
The funny part is Ari has been mad at me all morning.
So we have been tasked to make lists based on data from our platform, from Free Flow Analytics every week now, and we're going to battle in our lists to see who has the better list. The competitors this week are
I didn't know it was a
myself
battle.
and Ari. So we're going to
always a
present
winner.
our list to Matt, and Matt's going to tell us which list is better.
This is the worst outcome of
Yeah,
this.
let's do this
I
thing.
accidentally told Matt he didn't need a list.
And I'm
Let's
pretty
do it. I
sure,
love a good
correct
battle.
me if I'm wrong, Ari, this is data that you can only get here, right? Like your
Yes.
list that you created, we can only get here, right?
Correct.
Okay, so let me start with mine. Mine is just simply U.S. companies with the most Hall of Fame directors. It's that simple.
Ooh, now wait a minute. You got to explain what a Hall of Fame director is.
Why don't you explain it?
That's pretty self-explanatory.
I mean,
go
Really
ahead.
good at performance. Come on,
yeah, but which performance?
all of them, all 4 of them that we have.
Okay, so we do relative performance, and relative is based on the size of the company that you're on and the sector that you're in. We do performance like batting averages for that are on freeflowanalytics.com. You can go there, sign up. You can see all this. It's all free. Carbon intensity, TSR, EBITDA, which is earnings, and controversies, which is how many times the company you're sitting on the board of is in the news for doing really heinous stuff. The most heinous controversy. So everybody gets batting averages, and it's nice apples comparison. Hall of Famers, we average those to give you like an overall sort of batting average, and Hall of Famers rank in the top, I think 90th, the top 10% of all directors like in the world.
Yep.
So these are like the best of the best.
These are the best of the best. So
things.
if you're curious, why don't you get out a piece of paper and jot these names down, because maybe these are companies you want to look more into. At number 5 is
paper anymore.
with 5 Hall of Fame directors. Number 5 on our list is Adobe. Okay, that's,
Wow.
Adobe.
Wait, is that
And
number
that
5 or number 1?
that represents 42% of their board. So tied for 4th place, I guess, is 3 companies, because half their board are Hall of Famers. That's Deckers Outdoor, KLA, and Nordson Corporation. Who knew? Who knew?
I heard of Nordson.
So far, I only know Adobe.
I know KLA.
Okay. I knew the list itself might be a little bit dry, but I just like it. I want to introduce the concept of Hall of Fame directors. Coming in at number 3 would be a company called Interparfum. I don't know this company. Interparfum.
Come on, it's French, right? It's got to be
I don't know. But
French.
if it's French, what's it doing in our country? Everyone here, we don't speak French. We don't even like the French. I don't know what's
That's true. This
Freedom
is US.
fries, right?
Huh.
And then the top 2 spots are held by this is a conglomerate of companies that somehow I've never heard of. And it's funny,
I know
Matt,
these
because we
companies.
were talking about this morning. You had a different problem with our data. We were talking about Indian directors and Indian conglomerates, right? Where you see one or a couple of individuals controlling several listed companies under one conglomerate. So
It gets messy.
here in the U.S., I guess we have that. We don't have a lot of them, and I've never even heard of this guy or this group of companies, so that's why I'm glad I picked this category today. But coming in at number 2 is a company called Brookfield Infrastructure Corporation, with 5 Hall of Fame directors representing 63% of the board. And coming in at number 1 is this from the same entity, Brookfield Renewable Corporation, with 7 Hall of Fame directors. But Matt, I know what you're thinking, that these are the same directors, but they're not.
They?
There's only
That is what
one
I was
director
thinking.
in common on those boards. And let me tell you, there are 6 Brookfield boards.
Yeah.
Brookfield Business Corp, Brookfield blah, 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 blah. And there's one guy named Jeffrey Blidner. He's on all 6 Brookfield boards. He's a Hall of Famer on all of them. He's just a Hall of Famer. How have I never heard of this guy? How have I never heard of Brookfield? What is this?
I know you said this is U.S. companies. Brookfield's Canadian
I don't
based.
like
Oh,
Brookfield.
did I do my filter wrong on Excel?
Well, I think they're Canadian based, but they might have U.S. listed. So it's a
Okay.
U.S. listed company, but a Canadian headquartered company.
Yeah.
They do.
The
infrastructure.
2
They're
ones,
big
just so you know,
infrastructure. A lot of energy and REITs.
Well, the
That's
2
what they do.
ones that I did on this list, the Hall of Famers, the one with the most, Brookfield Renewable Corporation, is a U.S. listed company.
Yeah, I think they're all U.S. listed, but these are weird companies because it's like the management team sits across multiple boards. They're all sort of subsidiaries of the holding company. They're like Macquarie in Australia. They have all these weird sort of sub-entities, and you buy pieces of the sub-entities. Effectively, what you're buying when you buy Brookfield is a portfolio
Is Jeffrey Blidner?
of assets. So Brookfield Renewable is a
Did
portfolio
you just call
of
Jeffrey
renewable
Blidner
assets.
an asset? That's not nice.
And Brookfield Infrastructure is a portfolio of infrastructure assets.
All right, that's my list. U.S. companies with the most Hall of Fame directors. Coming at number 1, Brookfield Renewable Corporation.
Okay,
with
so
7
not a-
7
I
Hall of
like
Fame
the-
directors. That's
the list
70% of the
I
board.
concept.
hate dealing with Brookfield.
Yeah, I hate them too. The list concept is fine. Execution is mediocre. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go on.
Come on,
to
Ari.
Here we go.
I want to give Ari
All right,
some-
this is yours to win. If you blow this, it's a choke because
I'm
Matt
glad
didn't
you
like
went
my
first.
list.
You went first, and I told
Come
Matt
on,
not
Ari.
to show up. This is great. I did current directors on a U.S. board, and that have the highest instances of financial restatement.
Ooh.
What does that mean?
I like
What does that mean?
this.
Instances of financial restatement. What does that mean?
It means that whether or not they're on the board the year that the company had a financial restatement.
So these are director restaters.
These are
Yes.
jamooks who sit on boards that consistently restate
Yes.
stuff.
Yes, I love
And
it.
we have this data going back to 2014.
Wow.
got
So
it.
let me so from
10
2014,
years.
I know it's 2024. Well, from 2014 to 24 is 11 years, but 2024 doesn't count because they're not going to already restate 2024. They're not that good. And
But they might. But if you look at our data, maybe there's a trend coming here.
And we do count 2023, but there could still be time to restate 2023. So
All right.
just with that knowledge of 10 possible years,
Got it.
I'm starting with my first place.
Well, you don't
Starting
even have
with
to
your
start
first place.
because you've already won the list concept. This is already a better concept.
All pressure's off.
So
Well, you're
I can
really
just have
you're-
fun now.
You're voting against yourself, Matt, because the Hall of Fame concept is yours. You came up with the Hall of Fame concept.
All the concepts are. You think that like any of the concepts are? Not
Well, I don't
mine?
think
Everything's
directors who got cited for on the board but during financial restatements. That's not your come on, get over it.
I did not know what
That's
restatement
old
was
school
before I
corporate
showed up at
library
this house.
stuff.
mine. Yeah, there we go.
All right, come on, Ari. What do you got?
So first place, it's a tie between
You're starting at first
Perry
place.
Traquina.
So
Yeah, starting in first place.
Yeah.
I am
Notice,
starting
Matt,
at
she's
first
starting in first place. She's ruining the kind
build-up.
of the intrigue.
She's
So maybe you should take a point away from her for that.
I still win. First place,
No.
a tie between Perry Traquina, I think I'm saying that right, and Thomas Haggerty.
Wow.
They
A
each
tie.
have 10 restatements.
10.
So that
10.
So you're talking about on all the boards that they've been on in the last decade.
Yep.
They've had to restate financials 10 times.
Yep. And for Perry
Okay.
Traquina, half of those come from eBay and the other half come from Allstate. Most recently,
Two
Allstate
companies.
restated in 2022. And eBay has finally chilled restating their financials in the last couple of years after going strong 6 out of 7 years,
Wow.
the last one being in 2020.
Wow.
Can I play devil's advocate a little bit? Is it possible that maybe if you're a company that is facing a lot of restatements, that you might want one of these directors to help you wade through this process because they have experience in being jamooks?
I'm not saying they are undesirable. I'm just telling you.
You're
No.
inferring it. Yeah.
We don't have that here. It's not part of the list. But if either one of them is part of the audit committee, you 100% do not want these people on your
I
company.
want this information. Ari,
Like that-
another point away from you on your list for not having that information ready.
I actually think without this data,
Yeah.
you don't know who's sitting on your board, who's on the audit committee, who has a long history of restating financials. That's bad. That's no good. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
No
Matt,
good.
I hate to tell you, but I think that BlackRock would still tell you it's too aggressive to vote against an audit committee member who has been on the board during 10 different financial restatements.
That's correct.
Because-
and ISS
because
would say
you
they
might-
probably are good at their job.
Because you might bump into him in the buffet line at the country club, and he might, give you a weird look.
I don't like buffet lines. I'm just going to say that for the
Do they
record.
have
I don't want
buffets
that.
at country clubs? I don't even know. I've never
There's
been to a
just
country
too
club.
much sneezing and coughing.
It reminds me of cruises that he's never been on.
Who's next on this?
Thomas Haggerty. He also has 10 restatements. 4 of them came from Fidelity.
Wow.
He has been on that board since 2005, and I'm
Where
sad that he
else?
can't go back. I can't remember right now. As far as 2005, but in third
he's-
place, this is a cool
Wait.
third place tie. We're
Okay,
moving
go
on.
ahead. I want to know more about Thomas Haggerty. All right, keep going.
Third place tie between two Williams,
Oh, the bill
Ooh.
tie.
who
Ooh.
each have restated financials 8 times.
Wow.
So William Foley, he's the chair of Fidelity himself.
Good going, bro.
So he knows Tom Haggerty. This is where Tom Haggerty was also a director at the industrials company Dun and Bradstreet.
Oh.
Wait, so they were both. So William Foley and Thomas Haggerty were both on the same board together? 2 boards together?
Correct.
Wow.
Correct. One of them just had longer
Good job, bozos.
I know, best pals.
Right? Like they're financial restatement pals. That's the key takeaway.
I mean, they sit on another board together. Like if you were the Dun and Bradstreet investor, wouldn't you be like, you two morons just like you travel in pairs and restate wherever you go?
I mean,
like,
isn't everyone just remembering like back in like 7th grade math class when the teacher would separate you from your buddy because you're doing too many like armpit fart jokes or whatever?
You put one in the front right corner and the other one in the back left corner.
Or better yet, Thomas Haggerty, you go on this other board, and William Flay, you go on this board in like Tennessee or whatever. Yeah, okay.
But he is tied with William Kennard.
I know that name.
Who has 8 restatements, 2 from AT&T, 4 from MetLife, and 2 from Duke Energy.
I got to tell you, William Kennard is the most impressive on this list because he has restatements at 3 different companies.
Yeah,
I
was going to say the same exact thing. I know he's tied for 3rd place, but he's the first place winner.
He's the winner.
That is an amazing
list.
First
place is Matt's Hart. And now for 5th place, we have our 5th dude.
Yeah.
Fred Anderson.
These are all dudes. Yeah.
Who is currently a director at Yelp, but he was also in eBay. So he's got 6 restatements from eBay and 1
with
from
Perry
Yelp.
Traquina.
Correct.
Right. Wow.
And I do have an honorable mention because
all right, so you're cheating a little bit here. Go ahead.
All these people, they've been on multiple boards, right? So I wanted to find the worst single boarder.
Single board restater.
Yep, single board restater, and I included the whole world.
Ooh.
And I came up with Jun Wang from Aluminum Corporation of China Limited. He had a restatement. He had a restatement streak from 2014 to 2022.
Right.
And I was so disappointed to see that he actually has stepped down from this board. So we'll never, the streak is broken.
No, yeah.
They restated him off the board.
It's funny because in China, his nickname is he's the cruise control of financial restaters, financial restatements.
All right, so I'm going to weigh in here on who the winner is. And the winner of the top 5 list throwdown is most definitely Ari. I mean, there's no doubt that.
I thought he was going to say William Kennard.
It's definitely me because Ari. She presented her first place. She started with her first place, so she just ruined all the
But listening to Ari's list, I had immediate follow-up ideas, which is I want to know what percentage of restaters know each other. Like if you looked at a network of restaters, do they recycle themselves? Do they get on boards with each other? Are their friends restaters? Is restating like something that is like a badge of honor for these people?
Yeah.
I want to know everything about them.
Maybe there's a side.
I think it's a
competition.
list.
Maybe they're like betting on this or something. Who knows what they're doing?
Yeah, how many times could you restate? What's the over/under on restatements we can get away with and still get a 96% vote from investors? I think that's a fabulous list. I think everybody needs that list. So go to freeflowanalytics.com, sign up. That list isn't on there. If you want that list, you just have to email us and you have to ask for it because we have it.
We'll give it to you, though. We're good. We're chill.
Yeah, we might not give it to you. We might sell it to you because we're also hungry.
That's true.
But that's our show. That's Hazelnut Rollis and Ari the Data Queen. Come back on, what do we have? Thursday, we're doing a really interesting proxy countdown.
Oh, yeah. What are we doing?
We are covering 30 company AGMs in one show. And we're going to show you how to use big data, the big free flow analytics data, to come up with votes for 30 companies at once. And then on Friday, we'll wrap up the week. We're going to actually do the Friday show. We're going to have to do it super early because I won't be here later in the afternoon. I wish. But until then, goodbye.